It's better. Just go with it.
How did you guys meet?
Cycling.
Yeah.
Our first kiss, we rode up Mount Hamilton and I cornered her by the telescope and kissed her. She wanted it though. She kept standing closer and closer.
Because of course he beat me up the hill, and so he's like, I'm worthy. I can't.
I did not say that. I did not say that. But
We met riding bikes.
Riding bikes.
Yeah, so I kind of made all this other stuff kind of easy, I guess. Like on the table from the start that I raced my bike all the time. So if she was interested in dating me, she was gonna have to deal with that.
And so her friend was like, hey, this guy has raging parties. We should go over and have a party. And so they called me and I said, they were like, are you having a party? And it's like, well, two chicks just out of the blue called me. So it's like, of course I'm having a party. But I couldn't manage a party. I couldn't scrounge it up. So it was just some cool lighting and one dude. And then some girls came over and they were not impressed. And then they left. But she came back for some reason. I don't know. I talked her ear off and we went from there. Yeah? You guys have a wedding at 1 p.m. Do you sneak in a ride?
I think so, and I think it because cycling relaxes me. You know, you get a nice ride in, it brings you to baseline. If you don't get a ride in when you want to do a ride, you can feel some anxiety or feel some tenseness. Feel like something's missing from your day.
Well, what if the wedding involves riding bikes?
A couple people I know just got married, and they have a lot of pictures of them getting on a tandem together in their wedding clothing. It looked pretty cool. So maybe that's cheating, but that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
You have a wedding at 1 p.m. Do you ride?
Like a close wedding? Like a, is it like if it's like 10, like you said that you're the one you're going to is up the road, yeah, probably ride like maybe 2 hours, like 8 to 10, and I don't know, spend an hour getting ready, and then tops, and then yeah.
I trust his judgment to go on a quick bike ride and be on time. He's never late, so.
Does he ride?
Yes.
What time
You
is
would
it?
ride to the wedding.
Yeah, I would ride to the wedding. That is something I would do. If the wedding was at 1, I would start riding at 11:30. And then we'd be leaving here at 1:30. Get to the wedding at 2.
Make it up for the reception?
Yeah, we get to the wedding at 2. What does she listen to on a ride?
She listens to some reggaeton and some dubstep and top 40 stuff too.
We've also listened to his playlist in my car. It's definitely been dubstep and some techno, some upbeat stuff.
I just like beats. I don't like a lot of lyrics.
Rock and roll, I believe. For the most part.
Sometimes punk rock. It kind of depends on the bike ride.
Basically what I meant.
Yeah.
What's her playlist when she runs?
I don't even know what you really call it, like flow rider and stuff like that. Like it's like hip hop, I guess. I don't know what that is.
Hip hop, EDM.
Technically, and then like some techno stuff, like for sure some techno club music. I nailed that one, right? Do you know what he likes to listen to during his rides?
He likes to listen to Radiolab or Explosions in the Sky.
I'm a big podcast fan. And I like Explosions in the Sky is kind of, it's like a really soft music. And I don't know, I like listening to that stuff because my heart rate, I don't like it to pump my heart rate up. So I listen to really soft music while I ride. Do you guys get jealous when they ride with other?
So that hasn't happened in a while, but I don't think I would. I think I'm pretty confident that we're secure in our relationship. And also I think that if some guys were to ask her to go for a ride and she said yes, it's because she's an open person and a friendly, outgoing person. And if she weren't a friendly, outgoing person, then we never would have met in the first place.
We do get jealous, but it's not for those reasons. I think it's more about the distance you ride,
Right.
or who you ride with, or wow, this pro was on your ride and instead I was at work and I missed out.
So you wouldn't necessarily get jealous if he was riding with a girl, but if you rode with another like top pro.
And it doesn't really matter what sex, it's more about the competitive nature of the ride.
Yeah, we get jealous all the time of that type of thing. It's like, oh, you got in a great ride.
Who was on it?
Now I have to go get in a great
Who got
ride.
the KOM on that ride?
Right.
Well, great. Now I have to go hunt it down myself on a different ride. It's like, it's ridiculous.
Right, there's a lot of that going on.
Do you get jealous?
She runs with guys all the time. So.
Yeah.
I'm way better looking than them, so. Jealous when he rides with somebody from the other gender.
I think maybe if you went on a bike ride with another girl, I would think that's a little weird because that would be out of the normal.
She got jealous when I rode with you in Monterey. She looked you up on Facebook just to like,
No, I did
what is going on?
Is this girl check out or what?
Yeah.
But what
I mean,
would it be weird if I went on a run with a dude?
for sure, because that's definitely out of the norm.
And I think it also depends on the situation. Like you and Hannah went for a ride because we were in Monterey and she rides bikes, and that was a neat thing to be able to ride with her.
It's just your response was funny when I came back and I was like, hey, I saw another cyclist out. Oh, really? Yeah. And then I say her name and you go, wait, huh? Who? Hannah's a boy? That's a weird name for a boy. No, it was a girl. How pretty is Hannah? When you do something like that with someone, there's a level of intimacy that you would be connecting on. And so I would feel jealous if she was sharing something important with her life with someone else. Yeah, that'd make me jealous for sure. Now, obviously, there'd be like a healthy way to manage that, but I wouldn't expect you to do that. I would expect you to say, I'm not gonna run with you.
But it's not jealous of like, I am not confident in you and I think you're going to go right away with someone else. That's not how I feel. It's just a feeling.
A jealous feeling. We're gonna ride off into the sunset. 2-hour hilly ride. Do you enjoy riding together?
Yeah.
And I mean, it depends. It for sure depends. Like if it's a 2-hour hilly ride where I'm trying to get a workout, then no, it's gonna, I'm not gonna get a workout really. If we're out of town and we're in a pretty place and we're just going out for a 2-hour ride and it's hilly, then yeah, absolutely. We've done longer
Which
than that.
most of our rides together would be like scenic, like out of town kind of rides where.
Do you enjoy riding together?
I would say no.
You don't enjoy riding with me?
If I was to go on a bike ride, I'd rather go by myself because you guys are way too fast and
It makes me feel really good about how horrible she is. So at 100 watts, and she's getting dropped. That's awesome. I feel awesome. Shaved legs. What, do you find that sexy on me?
Yeah, an arrow.
Yeah, more importantly, it's Sarah.
Yeah. Whatever makes him faster.
Attractive and strong in a cycling kit.
Yeah, and I think every brand has a different cut, so there are definitely brands that make him look more attractive than others. Or colors.
Is it sexy that he shaves his legs?
Yeah, sure. Like I wouldn't say it's not
Convincing.
sexy, but I wouldn't say that it's. I mean, it's not super normal.
Oh, okay. By the way, it is sexy that I shave my legs.
Yeah.
For one. The other thing is just that it's not necessarily sexy that I shave my legs. It's just that I have sexy legs. That's what she really thinks.
Yes, I think his legs are sexy, whether they're shaved or not.
Like it when he shaves his legs.
I like it 0%.
How hard did you try to keep him from ever shaving his legs?
I told him many bad things about people who shave their legs to try and convince you that you should not shave your legs. Disgusting when it's all prickly. My legs can be prickly because I'm a girl. I do not want your prickly legs competing with my prickly legs. That's weird and disgusting. We are both We are different sexes, so I don't want the same issues when it comes to that.
No, I get it. And I honestly really held true to that for a long time until they put it in the wind tunnel and said it saves you a bunch of watts. And it's like, babe, it's science. I'm sorry.
What are those women's legs doing?
How about when we were wakeboarding and I had shaved legs and I got done and you go, dang, babe, your legs look really buff.
Okay, so one time I said that. They would.
I hold that in my mind and replay it. If her legs were hairy, what should happen? I would say we should go out to dinner, to a nice dinner, and you should wear a skirt.
You're such a liar.
And I just let that handle, I'd let it handle itself. Should a romantic weekend involve bikes?
Absolutely. I think it's happened over and over before. I think there's going to be a lot more weekends just like this weekend that will involve bikes.
Right, so this is really cool. I mean, we could have done anything we wanted this weekend. We came out to the Yosemite area and we did a great bike ride. We're going to do another bike ride tomorrow. Several months ago, we went to Death Valley, went out and camped for a few days. We rode all over Creation out there. It's just a great weekend for the two of us.
So then here would be a better question. Can you have a romantic weekend without bikes?
I think so. I don't know if we have yet, but we'd have to do something. And we actually hiked up
We did Half Dome last
Half
year.
Dome within the past year. Actually, about a year ago now. Went up Half Dome. That was really cool.
I feel like most of ours do.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, we did that trip to Calistoga. Like, we went wine tasting, we had a really nice dinner, and had a super nice romantic day together. And then the very next day, then we went on a long bike ride together. And that was just like,
I definitely think it's good to be able to like enjoy hobbies together and not, you know, when we have a romantic weekend, it's like what, I don't know, how many hours are you gonna spend like hanging out in the hot tub and drinking champagne? Like, we are pretty active people, so yeah, like that definitely.
it's kind of what brought us
like
together
enjoying
in the first place.
enjoying that hobby together is, I think, good. Should a romantic weekend include riding bikes?
I don't know if it should, but it always will. I think it's fine if you go for a little bike ride, because then I can do whatever I want to do. But then you go for a bike ride and then you come home and then you're tired and then you want to lay down.
Yeah, so it's different from the others because when we're on a romantic weekend, she doesn't have a bike. You know, really have to limit my thing, but I always bring my bike. It's hard to not. But I sack it up, man. There are a lot of times where I don't think she realizes when you come home from a set of 40-20s, how you just want to go to bed. You don't want to. I don't want to do anything. And then but that's not fair to her. So I just sack it up. I don't even talk about how sore I am or tired I am. It's just, and I mean, many times I'm just immediately in the door and bright and putting on a show. He loses a race. What do you say?
Give him space. It's hard to deal with losing because I know we're both capable of winning all the time. And
You both have a horrible race.
Well, by the time we get in the car, it's okay.
yeah.
But immediately after, if she's cooling down, she needs her space, needs to kind of process it.
He loses a race. What's the first thing you say?
Hey, it's like every other race. You're really good at this.
He kind of needs a space for a while because he's kind of upset with himself. So I just kind of give him his space. And then, like, I don't know, have a conversation about what he thinks he could have done differently.
I honestly haven't seen her. I think everybody responds to that situation differently, and everybody, like, some people need space and some people need a pickup or whatever, but I haven't seen her in that situation yet, so honestly.
I think the only time is like I've had a bad training run, like where I knew I shouldn't have gone on it because like my ankles were wrecked to begin with, and he's like, kind of told you so kind of thing. But it was like a very subtle I told you so. It was a subtle.
We both knew.
It was a subtle I told you so.
So next question, he loses a race and he's all pissed off. What do you do?
Say stop complaining because you paid money to race.
She calls me after the race and is like, how'd you do? Did you win? Well, that doesn't tell the whole story. I did very well. I was in a breakaway and I put out this amount of watts. Did you win? No.
I don't care about what place you got. I care if you get first because you seem to be so mad when you never do. So obviously I want you to get first place. so you're not mad. But it has nothing to do with me.
If it wasn't for cycling, what would it be?
Probably be running. Something else. I think we're both really competitive, and we'd find another hobby to share.
I'm also coming from a running background. I'd probably do running, but it may be something else. Something entirely different, but also it would have to be athletic. I think that I need to do something where I sweat and get out in nature to feel grounded.
Maybe we'd become professional salsa dancers.
Oh yeah, we do that as well.
If you didn't have cycling, what would replace it?
Oh gosh. Yeah, there's a competitive part of him, so it has to be something, maybe motocross. You go back to motocross. I don't know if he just decided to quit racing bikes.
Probably like jiu-jitsu, or probably race, or go to the track with you probably get another street bike.
Be doing something. I put 7 years into jiu-jitsu. Before that, it was motocross. I don't think that, I mean, if you are an elite level cyclist, it's because your personality has that hole of like, I need to fill this with activity. And you want to be fit, and you want to compete, and want to put yourself on the chopping block. And so it doesn't matter what it is. If I was baking, I'd want to go compete at baking. I don't want to blow people's cakes out the water with mine. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's what you want to do, right? You want to compete. You want to be better than the other person that's doing the thing you're doing. And I feel like cycling is really neat because you can just out your door and you're doing that thing you love. Jiu-jitsu, you have to have other people to do that with. And she really hated me putting in her a triangle choke. So like, I had to go do that with other dudes. And motocross, like you have, like there's such an ordeal, you know, a street bike, there's very few things in life that are self-contained. Like you could just go and do it without other people's intervention. But what would be a thing that you do to manage your relationship during race season?
I think going to the races together, and like quite a few of the races, I feel like we've kind of made a weekend of it. So we also get to like enjoy being out of town together. And then like, you know, during the week, he has his training rides, take a lot of time during the week, and we have dinner together and watch Netflix together.
I don't feel like we like have to try real hard to.
That too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty mindful that, she's coming, like sacrificing her weekends to go to the races with me. And so I try to, not just make the whole weekend all about racing, but, maybe try to go out like to a nice dinner place wherever we're at, or, go do something fun while because we get to go to all kinds of cool places for races and stuff, so try to make the most out of it instead of just racing and sleeping.
Give me one thing that you do to manage your relationship during the race season.
I think doing other things throughout the week. I think time together is limited during the week because we both have full-time jobs, and it's just stressful to get rides in when you want them to. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes you get stuck at work, a little late, or you have to go to San Jose to be at the courthouse there, or you're traveling. And so I think we do things like going shopping together, whether it's just even grocery shopping. I love Trader Joe's. We both love going to Trader Joe's.
Yeah, I go twice a day.
So
I'm wearing that place out.
Doing things like that, or going to the farmer's market together. We've started gardening together.
Right.
Birding, as well as going to salsa.
Okay, so how do you manage your guys' relationship?
I mean, I just think that every day we are together, and since we are home together, and every day is just special. We spend a lot of time together, so.
Yeah, so our relationship dynamic is probably a whole lot different than your typical relationship because we work with each. I mean, we're always together. So from the morning till night, we're constantly with each other. So I would say it's definitely different. If you work 9 to 5 and then have to try to put in a 40-hour-a-month training schedule.
Yeah, if when we both got home, then you were riding while I'm home cooking dinner and doing stuff with Athen. Then
yeah, that's totally different because then on the weekends, it's like that would be your normal time to like spend time together. And then if I'm out racing, and so I think for us, having us both be cyclists at the same level would be detrimental to our relationship because of how much time we spend together. You know what I mean? We need our little time apart because we never get that through a work day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So how we manage our relationship during race season is actually, that's the time apart is good.
Have a getaway.
But I honestly really enjoy going with the boys, you know what I mean? Like when I ride with you, I think that I don't have like a workplace to get out the fart jokes or talk about dick jokes, you know what I mean? Like it's just her, right? And I think vice versa, she, you know, often looks to have a relationship with a peer. He spends $1,000 on a new set of wheels. What's your first reaction?
I need some too. That was a good deal.
Exactly.
All right.
That was awesome. Now I get to use them, and yeah, everybody's happy.
Right. We've shared a lot of equipment.
He spends $1,000 on new wheels.
Considering he uses them to race at a super high level, I completely understand it.
She spends $1,000 on running shoes.
Well, they better be like gold plated or something, right? Like, I don't know, like what? All right, so he spends $1,000 on new wheels.
You would never spend $1,000 on new wheels. You would probably like get some deal or something. But since you work and I don't, I can't really. I mean, I would be like, what the heck? But
So she spends $1,000 on a new pair of high heels. What happens?
divorce.
Oh, I lose my shit. I mean,
You lose your shit when I spend
$10.
$10 at the dollar
Yeah,
store.
I freak out when she spends $10.
So what if she wants to start a new hobby that's like another sort of fitness? What if she wants to get a bike or something else that's $1,000?
I'm gonna support her in whatever she wants to do.
Not financially though.
Well, I will morally support you as much as you want. I would honestly have to say that if you wanted to spend a lot of money to embark on a new hobby, you would need to show me that your commitment level was there. What could you say maybe a tip to that would be?
I'd ask why the people liked each other in the first place, and it's probably because they were doing interesting things. You don't initially get attracted to a person because you spend all sorts of time with them because you just met them, you're not spending time with them yet. You're attracted to them because they're doing cool things and they're a fun, interesting person. And if they continue to do fun, interesting things into your relationship, that's one of the reasons why you like them initially. So like allow them to be the person that they are, allow them to keep having their own separate interests and support them.
So what would you say to a couple who was like having a hard time being supportive of?
My answer would be that I think cycling or any sort of sport is a healthy habit to have. I mean, they could be going to the bar every night or doing other things that you wouldn't agree with.
Boring answer. When I was doing jiu-jitsu, everyone's spouse was like had an issue with it. They would like everyone's like, oh, I had to tell my wife I was doing this, or like everyone's always talking about how they're having to sneak around to go do that thing that they're doing, or that, you know, that it like causes conflict on the thing that they want to do. And I think to wrap that a positive or with a negative is not good. You going out and making something for your life and doing something that makes you happy, to then have your spouse not support that, it makes you're taking that away from that person. But obviously, it's everything in moderation, and you can do what, it doesn't matter how healthy it is. You can make things unhealthy. Cycling can be unhealthy. If you're riding 8 hours a day, every day, like that's unhealthy for a relationship. There's no way you're going to be able to manage a successful relationship with that. And so, I mean, I guess what is it that you want in life? Do you want a spouse? Do you or a significant other? Do you want someone in your life? Well, then you're gonna have to like give and take. And I think it goes both ways. You as the doer and them as the acceptor of the doing. So You know, it's just, man, you gotta compromise. I often compromise my rides or things that I wanna do because it's just not gonna fit well with our relationship. And so by showing her that, she then in return, like, accepts what I do. It's just that give and take for sure. If you each give 100% into the relationship, then it's gonna work. But as soon as someone gives like 95, and the other person gives 90, and then 80, and then 70, and then you're both just like hating each other. I don't know if I'm gonna use this or not, but can we all get here and go, yeah? Just like that? Like a little more enthusiastic?
I don't think I want to do that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you can manage your relationships. I hope everyone here had some great advice for you. As always, Vegan Cyclist, yeah!
I thought you were going to say thank you for watching. I didn't do it. 100% I didn't do it.